Hello, everybody. Today is November 6th, and I've already made a video today, so I'm not going to start off by saying whatever the day's number is. But I wanted to do like a coffee chat. I have my cup of coffee here. Picture of my baby when she was a baby. But I was walking around the block, and as a child, I always looked up at the stars, and I was just taken back. You can see the telescope. Well, the drawing rack behind me there. I was always kind of fascinated by the stars. They're magnificent and awesome in their own right, but just at how insignificant, while my problems were important to me, just maybe my own place in the universe was so tiny, and really just kind of a speck of dust. That doesn't mean that my life or your life, our life is insignificant, but just, again, how tiny we are. And that no matter what happens to us in our daily lives, the stars are always up there. They're still up there. Even when we can't see them, they're up there. Or during the day, I realize they might be under us, but, and I looked up tonight and I could see kind of where the Milky Way was. And the Milky Way is the spiral, it's the arm of the galaxy. And so, my perception of up and down is kind of sideways compared to the disk of the galaxy and whatnot. So I thought that was kind of cool too. But as I was walking around, I kind of had this idea of, the idea of a pursuit of happiness. Can't we, come to and this is, again, more of a transgender thing. It's a transgender blog. It's about my transition. But to transition, we are pursuing happiness in a way that, only we can identify with. And I was trying to think about, it was something that my sister had said to me on the phone a couple weeks ago when she kind of had her, hey, I don't want to be associated with you anymore, although I accept and I will support your decision, phone call. And that's okay. But, it was the idea that you can't pursue you can't be happy, like like life is something that we're, wound up, and then we go on, and it's like, once we're set on a course, we can't change it. And of course, in reality, we're not making waves for other people. In my case, raised as a male, born in the body of a boy. And I can't change that because it messes up everyone else's perception of what reality is and what, like normal for them. It's okay for me to be in pain and suffering as long as I don't affect other people. That's kind of I think the thought process to it in the context of the phone call that I got. And I was kind of thinking about, well, in America, we say life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's a foreign concept to think that you have to change so much to be happy and put so much at a risk. And I was thinking about, even earlier, I woke up from a nap and my hair was disheveled and, I looked like a train wreck or whatnot. But as I walked past my mirror and I looked at myself in the mirror in this way, like Medusa, I was like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, and even I keep looking at this bow. I always wanted a bow in my hair. Okay, I love bows. I'm a sucker for bows. If you know me, you probably don't know me, but if you did know me, and you know I'm a sucker for bows. I love bows. Okay. Um, but again, it's that idea of being so happy. And I feel, there was I read a Facebook post not that long ago from somebody who friended me, and they're nowhere near me or whatnot, and they're talking about, they're so unhappy with their male parts, they're going to cut them off and take a razor blade. And, I realized that the figure of speech to a certain degree, but, to be just so unhappy. And yet we have this ability, we fight for it to be happy. And then, we question, are we happy? Or I don't know. Like I said, this is just a coffee talk conversation, or it's probably more of a diatribe from me to you. But it kind of, like I said, as I walk down the block and I'm walking into the stars, and I'm thinking, thank you, God, for this. Just let me be alive. If I get hit by a truck tonight, I have a cardiac arrest in my sleep, the aliens come and take me away, whatever, I am just so freaking happy, okay? And to be so happy and to be where I am right now, I guess maybe I could get mad at the past for being so unhappy, but it's the temptation is too easy to say I am unhappy because I was unhappy because I was transgender. True, but again, you don't want to blame. I don't know. Another thought I had was about kind of where I was a year ago, and I had to look up my journal. I've always had a journal. When I went to college the first time, and unfortunately, I don't really do anything to preserve the journal. You would think I would save it to a disk or whatever, but circumstances being what they are, I've never really kept a journal like over a prolonged period of time. I really should, but it helps to revisit the past, And in my mind, I was like, a year ago, I was sneaking down to the basement to practice my voice, which I think I was a little bit. I think my timing was off. I didn't really do that until the spring. So looking back where I was a year ago, I had my initial, it was June or July of 2015 when my ex-wife and I kind of came together, and each of us kind of came out to each other, more or less. And it really, I had a slight hiccup. My wife had a medical situation in the fall of last year, what would have been October of last year. And so that kind of pushed me back into being the husband, and kind of all of my needs got pushed back to the back burner for her, fulfilling my role at the time. And so really it wasn't until November, just about a year ago, that she got back to where she could function on her own, and she was doing her own thing. And I was kind of like, okay, what do I do now? And as is often the case with transgender feelings, we push them away when stressed or whatnot, and then when things are okay or when really, really bad, they bubble back up again, So, again, I had to look back to where I was a year ago. And a year ago, I didn't know, I knew I needed to do something, but it was one of those things. I think the skin had really started to rot. The male skin had really started to rot. And I began to really ask myself, hey, why can't I transition? Why can't I? What would it take to get me where I need to be? And much to my credit, I was communicating with my ex-wife. I was not trying to hide it from her. the same way that she was dealing with her own issues and whatnot. I was listening to her and I was sharing my feelings with her and whatnot. So I think that's a very positive thing. But like I said, to look back to where I was and then to look where I am a year later, divorced and, um, you know, this is my house and I'm paying for it. And, it's like trying to, things kind of come together. And I couldn't have predicted that a year ago. And so maybe the takeaway for anyone else is, we don't know where we're going to be in a year. I have no clue as to where I'll be this time next year. I can predict. Okay, I can predict that my hair is going to be however long this is, that much longer, because I basically shaved my head in October of 2015. I went back to my Air Force haircut, so that's what, 6 inches maybe. So my hair might be out to here. Wouldn't that be cool? I'll make that guess. Hopefully by then I will be full time. There's no reason why I won't be. And we'll go from there. So again, we just don't know. And I kind of been toying with the idea of surgery. And of course, when you say surgery, everyone goes, the surgery. Gender confirmation surgery, sexual reassignment surgery. And, obviously it's out of my price range right now. But I have other things I need to do. I have a daughter, and not that would, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a high thing on my list, but I don't know. It's one of those things. On my walk, again, as I was looking up at the stars, I was realizing that, I am in this transition period, obviously, and I'm not looking for a relation. I don't want to replace, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get my life together, and this is not the time for me to be in a relationship with someone. I'm too unstable, and it wouldn't be fair to them, and it's not fair to me or my daughter, I think. Again, but back to again, kind of a random collection of thoughts, but again, and someone else just posted something too about this side of, I think they call it this side of authentic. Before our lives, before we transition, it's very inauthentic. I mean, I worry that I'm not being authentic, my voice and who I am and everything. Who I am is, I want to be authentic. You're dealing with the real me. And the more I transition, excuse me, the easier that is, I think, to interface. But again, the idea of this side of authentic, this is the real issue. This is the real me. This is the real, before it was hiding. And even in my journal last year, I think I had written something about, getting comfy, that I had an hour to myself and it felt so good. And little things I had done, like I bought a purple shower cap. And I think it was really the first thing that I actually did that was like, I'm going to grow my hair out and it's going to get really, really long. So I need a shower cap. And I can remember the eyebrows that were raised. It was like, well, why do you need a shower cap? And then, again, it was either in November or December of last year. I bought a bra and I bought a jumper. I started to buy my own clothes. I didn't feel comfortable wearing my ex-wife's clothes. I wanted my own clothes, and they're my clothes, like this shirt I've had. Again, so as far back as a year ago, I think I knew where my ship was going. I had an idea. I didn't know exactly where the ship was going, but I knew where the winds were nicer. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm out of time, but good luck and hang in there, folks. All right? Bye.